Hey everybody, welcome back. It's your Gay Sports Fanatic, and in this installment, we're going to look at college football week 12. So we're getting into the meat of things now. And the first thing I'm going to dive into is my top 12. Now, I know the committee came out with theirs on Tuesday, and we have some real discrepancies between what they say and what I say. As I mentioned before, I base my top 12 on who you've played, who you've lost to, how good were they? But who have you played? So not just the record. So anyway, let's jump in. Number one, consensus pick across the board, the Oregon Ducks. No doubt about it. Number one. Number two, consensus, Ohio State. No question about it. Number three, another one of the consensus picks, no debate, Texas. Number three. Now here's where things start to get dicey between me and this committee. I've got Notre Dame at number four. Remember, Notre Dame went on the road and beat Texas A&M at night in Kyle Field. That's a huge victory. They had that bad game against Northern Illinois they lost early in the season, but since then, Notre Dame has bulldozed through this schedule. I do not see Notre Dame losing another game. Notre Dame is solidly in the college football playoff. Notre Dame 4. Number 5, Penn State has one loss that's not really a bad loss at all. Penn State, solid team, they got a shot to win it all, I think. Penn State, 5. Number 6, just like Penn State, is Tennessee. One loss. It's really not that bad of a loss, really, that Tennessee has. Again, one loss. We're going to know a lot more about Tennessee after this weekend. We'll be talking about that a little bit later. So 6, Tennessee. 7 is Indiana. I know that they're 10-0. I congratulate them on that. That's quite an accomplishment for Indiana to do. But I have to tell you, in all honesty, I don't know how good Indiana really is. Obviously, they're good, but like, how good are they? Great record. I question that. They have not really played, in my view, a tough schedule. The last game against Michigan, it was pretty tight going there at the end. So, listen, we're going to know all we need to know about Indiana next week when they go into a place called Columbus, Ohio. So, you know, I'm holding my judgment on Indiana, but I'm putting it at 7. Number 8, Georgia. Georgia has played the toughest schedule in college football. Remember, they drilled Clemson. The first it was not a bad team, only has 2 losses. Drilled Clemson the first game of the year. Went into Texas and won. So, I mean, Georgia, solid 8 to me based on the strength of this schedule. Georgia's tough. You don't want to face Georgia. Number 9, same story really. Alabama. That win last week against LSU told me all I needed to know. Go on the road and win that solidly. You never count the Tide out, and I'm not. Alabama, number 9. Number 10, right behind them, also out of the SEC, is Ole Miss. This team is on fire, and their offense is one of the best, if not the best, in the nation. So, Ole Miss, solid 10. I see them only moving up. Okay, now here's where controversy really kicks in. So, number 11, I've got SMU. I've got them in here. You'll notice I don't have Miami. I'm going to tell you that right now. I took Miami out of this, which the committee didn't do. That loss last week was just enough for me to see to pull them out of here. I put in SMU. I want to put someone in from the ACC. So I put in SMU at 11. Do I really know if SMU is that good? I don't. The jury also is out on SMU. They're a great story, great Cinderella story. You kind of root for them, but against the big boys here, ranked ahead of them, how are they going to do? But you know what? SMU wins the ACC. They're a 3rd or 4th seed. That's one of the things I don't like about this college football playoff system is that these conference champions get a 3rd, 1, 2, 3, or 4 seed, particularly when it comes to the ACC and the Big 12. I'm sorry, I'm going to say it. Number 12 for me is BYU out of the Big 12. Undefeated. I'm not really all that impressed, particularly when that game last week. I don't think they won. I think the officials, with one of the worst calls I've seen all year, the officials saved their behinds. And that's the only way BYU squeaked this game out by a point against Utah last week. So I'm leaving them in here at 12. I just don't have any faith in them at all. So anyway, that's my top 12. Be sure to comment, please. I'm sure there's people watching this right now that have major disagreements with me. So, hey, that's cool. Let me have it. Next, let's go into my picks. 7 picks I have for week 12 against the spread. Last week, I went 6 wins and 1 loss against the spread. So I had a really good week. I did that another week too. I haven't had a week yet where I went 7-0, but I've had 2 weeks where I went 6-1. So, pretty good. So let's start off with a big shootout in the SEC. Now, this is going to go a long way to determine who makes the college football playoff. And it is Tennessee at Georgia. Now, Tennessee is getting 8 points at Georgia. And I'll tell you, even with the points, this is a tough call. I labored over this one, you guys. I'm taking Tennessee and give me the 8. I just feel, I don't know if they're going to win, but I like having that 8 with me. So Tennessee plus the 8. Next, we have Utah at Colorado. Colorado is giving away 10.5 to a Utah team that looked pretty good last week against BYU, if you think BYU is all that great. But Colorado is starting to convince me a bit here. They're starting to mesh. They're starting to show, not just do commercials, but actually show up on the field and produce some results. I like Colorado to win this game at home, and I like to throw away the 10.5 to Utah. I think Colorado will rout Utah. Next up, we have Oregon at Wisconsin. Wisconsin's a team also been playing better, a little bit dangerous team. They're getting 14.5 points in this game at home against Oregon. I like Wisconsin and the points. And I think Wisconsin, just on a side note, could make this a real ball game. I'm going to tell you, they just could. They're going to be fired up. This could be really close. I love Wisconsin and 14.5 points. Next, we have the renewal of one of the greatest rivalries in college football history. It's been dormant for 33 years. Well, not totally dormant, but in conference play, it's been dormant for 33 years. But it used to be one of the greatest rivalries, old school rivalries. And that's Texas and Arkansas. Texas, number 3, just looking fantastic on both sides of the ball. Texas is at Arkansas, and they'll be in front of a crazy crowd there. Arkansas is getting 14. Because of the fact that Arkansas hates Texas so much, and this crowd is going to be so whipped up, and Arkansas's offense, if they can play well, they are one of the best in the nation. Arkansas is getting 14 points. I like the Hogs and 14. I don't think they'll win the game at all. I mean, they could. I'm going to give them a 1 in 10 chance of winning this game to the Hogs. But certainly I like the Hogs plus 14 against Texas. Next up, we have Kansas at BYU. BYU, once again, slogging through this schedule here. BYU is a 2.5 point favorite. You would think they'd be a lot more than that, frankly. At home, ranked where they're at in this committee's rankings, BYU is only giving away 2.5. So I'm going to go with BYU here, and I'm going to throw away the 2.5 to Kansas. Next up, we have Ohio State at Northwestern. Northwestern's absolutely terrible. Ohio State is just the opposite of terrible. Ohio State is giving away a lot of points, though. They're giving away 29.5 points. I'm still taking Ohio State. I'm going to throw away the 29.5 to Northwestern. Last but not least, we have Michigan State at Illinois. These are 2 teams that have played during the year, played some pretty good games. Both kind of mirror each other in a lot of ways. So this is going to be a close game. Illinois is giving away 2.5 points. The fact they're at home, this is an important game for both these teams. I'm taking Illinois to win, and I'll give away the 2.5. So I'm going with I'm picking a lot of the favorites to cover here this week. So you guys, you have a great Saturday. Enjoy them. They're getting fewer and far between. Be sure to please like if you like, or dislike if you don't like what I said. Please comment. Love that. And then also, of course, as always, subscribe if you want to be notified of all these little videos that I do. So you guys, thank you so much, and have a great Saturday watching these great games. Thanks.